Hey y'all, Mr. Ropes here. Out in the middle of my field with my broken down Massey Ferguson 285. It was built in 1975, so it's fairly old. But the other day, well, a while ago now, a few weeks ago, when I was bush hogging, I blew the seal out in the water pump, so we were leaking out water from behind the pulleys of the belts, maybe behind the fan. So we're going to work on taking this off today. I'm going to have to take it in and have the pulleys pressed off and pressed back on to the new water pump. But what we're going to do today is take this thing off, and hopefully all goes well. But I can't ask for a more beautiful day, bright and sunny here in East Tennessee, and so it's a good day to work on it. We'll see how it goes. As you can see, here's my Massey Ferguson 285 sitting out in the middle of the field, right where I left it when it busted when I was bush hogging. So, but it's a beautiful sunny day today. We got Hexa, who instead of running around has to sit in the back of the pickup truck, but that's all right. At least she's being good. She's a good dog. So, but here the beast sits in the middle of the field. It's a good day to work on it, nice and sunny, and here's my view as I'm working on my tractor. Over here in the dry pond field. So I got a good view while I work on this tractor. If you can see out there, we got Chris's Cub Cadet sitting in the middle of the field. From 2 years ago, the tire fell off, or the lockers that was on it broke, and we can't find a part for that. I believe it's a Cub Cadet. It's been a while since we started it. It's been sitting there for a long time. Still runs though. We just got to find that locker for that wheel. So let's fix the tractor. So here we have the 285 Massey Ferguson. I'm going to have a tough time fixing this water pump because my boom for my front end loader is kind of right in my way. Just like everything on this tractor, I have to work around that unless I want to take it off. But you got your, if you can see there, you got your water pump in there. So it was leaking right behind that pulley. Water was pouring out of it, so there's a seal or the bearings out. I'm not sure where or how that leaked, but that's where all the water was coming from. I thought I blew a hose at first, but unfortunately it's the water pump. So we're just going to put a new rebuilt water pump on it and see how it goes here. So first off, to start this, I'm going to have to take off my hood to get better access. So my hood's bolted on with the bolts here on the side, so I'll have to take off those bolts and take off my fuel cap, radiator cap, and the hood should just slide over my exhaust system. So I will show you as we go. Well, since the these bolts on this hood is a 1/2 inch socket, so a lot of the bolts on this tractor, since it was built in jolly old England, is metric. But for the hood bolts, got a 1/2 inch socket will do the trick. All right, now we have the hood off, and got the hood off. Now the next thing we have to do is take off the fan cowling. These bolts right here, which is a 3/8 drive. So just take off this cowling. Okay, as you can see, I got the bolts out of the fan cowling, but my hoses and the fan are keeping it in there. So in order for me to take that cowling off of there, I am going to have to take off some hoses. But first off, I'm gonna loosen the belts and do that, and then I'm going to try to take that fan off, the blades off the pump first. We'll see how this works. I thought if I took that cowling off, I'd be able to get at the pump a lot easier and get it out of there. As you can see, the cowling is going to prevent me from pulling that pump and fan off of there. So, let's see what we got. All right, here we go. I got my belts loosened, if you can see that, but I can't get in there to show you the bolt on top. The bolt on top is a 7/16 to loosen that bracket, to loosen your belts, and then on the bottom, that bolt and nut is 9/16. I'm sorry, it's 9/16 on the bottom for that bolt and nut, and on the top, and I can't get in there to show you the front side of that bolt, but the top is actually 1/2 inch. So got that loosened, got the belts loosened. Now we're gonna see if to get this fan off. I don't want to take too much off because everybody knows I hate mechanicking, but as a farmer we got to. So try to get this fan off here now. Okay, working on the fan in the front, and half inch bolt. There's 4 of them in the front of that fan. The clearances are really tight, so I can get in there with a ratchet and a socket, but it's pretty tight. So this is a better shot of the pulley system, and taking 4 bolts out of the fan right there. See if that helps me. There's a big jumbo carrier. Was low. I didn't get the camera in time. We're a flight path for the base, but it come in pretty low over my trees right there. I didn't get it in time before it got over the mountain. Pretty cool while I'm working on the tractor. Okay, so I got the bolts out of the front of the fan, and it's loose here if you can see that. But it's not doing anything for me. I don't believe it should be loose. It was loose before I took the bolts out too, so now I gotta figure out the other approach. I'm gonna take the hoses off, and we'll go from there and see what I can do. Okay, we got progress. I took a dead blow and knocked off the fan blades. When you do that, though, be careful you don't bend your fan blades, but it was corroded and kind of seized on the shaft. So I got my fan blades here loose from the thing, and now I should just be able to pull those out of there. So making progress. Okay, so here's our new pump, water pump, and I went and got that just to make sure and to see how this comes off. So I'm going to have to get the old one off and press the pulleys on that shaft, and it looks, the new pump has 2 plug holes, whereas my old pump has only 1. So, but it looks like the same pump, held on by 3 bolts, if you can see the bolts back there at the housing. 3 nuts, and I'm just going to take those off and get that old pump out of there. Alright, since I can't get my pulley off, a 1/2 inch wrench to take these bolts out here, which look like studs with nuts on. So there's 3 of them on the pump, and I'm going to take these studs out the best I can with that pulley. I don't really have much clearance, so we're gonna take those loose and see what we got. All right, there we go. I have that stud that came out that wasn't supposed to. It should have come off the bolt, but let me see if I can get you in there to see. The sun's not playing very well with me. So we got the stud there, and you got right there a little bit of work, a little bit of prying. I was able to get that out there. You got so let's get it in there maybe a little better. So my water pump is free right there. Right there it is. Let's get it out. So I got my water pump right there. So now we will get that pulley pressed onto the other new pump, and we should be golden. Okay, so now that the water pump's out there, you can see it there. I'll need to clean that seal off from the old water pump, and I didn't bring me a good sharp scraper up here, so I'll have to go down to the barn. Plus we have to go down to the barn and get that pulley pulled off there and put on the new pump. So make sure that you scrape off your old seal before you put your new water pump back on. So that was part one of the removal of that water pump on that Massey. As you see, it's getting kind of warm out today. I had to put the shirt on. But so we got that old water pump removed. Now we need to press that pulley off the old water pump and get that back on the new pump, and we'll reinstall that in the tractor, and maybe we can get this beast running again. Have a good one.